Right, I thought I'd do a quick video for two reasons. One, to document what I'm doing to the car. So if I come to sell it in the future, I've got video evidence of what I've done to it and why I've done it. And second is just to record it really and have some fun with it for when I'm a bit older and enjoy myself watching my old videos. It's not an instructional video. I will post it onto YouTube. This is just me documenting what I'm doing to the car because I should probably sell it after a couple of years and get a 2013, it's 2 litre 2013. So, what have I bought? So, I'll turn the camera around. Here it is. This is a 2000, work back a bit. This is a 2007 Mini Cooper S. It's the Gen 2 R56. So I bought it 3 months ago, just as it was coming out of lockdown, and I was looking for one, to do a bit of work on to track it, and this one came up. So we had it. Me and my son went to have a look at it. It was about the fifth or sixth one we looked at, and we decided to have it. So we rode it around for a couple of months. No issues, no engine lights. They're notorious, the N14 engines, for being unreliable, but this one hasn't. It's been absolutely spot on. I don't think I've had to change anything in the 3 months. I might jump on it, done about 1,500 miles. So history of the car. It's had some work done to it already. I really like the rear lights. I've noticed that they're £365 a pair. Unbelievable. It's got a Scorpion aftermarket stainless steel exhaust. The rear bumper is a JCW, I believe, but I'm still getting into minis, so just need to understand what that is, but I think it's a JCW one. And it's had a wide body kit on, so that's where they put a wider wheel arch on, and they do have to cut the wheel arch, unfortunately, so there's no going back from it, but I quite like it. It's a nice fancy car, so I'm going to keep it. What have I done to it so far? Just a damn good clean, a service, gone over it and had a look at what needs to be done, and I've just remembered, that you can see it, but I put a new rear anti-roll bar on. I bought one as a kit, front and rear from Lohan, and I've done the rear. I've had a look at it. It's fought me every inch of the way. This is a nightmare to work on, not just the constraints with space, but also the problem is it's 2007. Not a lot of work's been on. Every nut and bolt is a nightmare to get off. But never mind. Challenge. Got nothing else to do in retirement. So that's it. The interior is really nice. I've got the battery off at the moment, so I can't open it. But the interior is mint. Just a couple of little bits and pieces that I need to do. I've got an ultra gauge in there because Mini don't provide a temperature gauge, which worried me a lot. So you might notice it's on axle stands at the moment. I'm doing some work, so let's go and have a look what I'm doing. Right, it's in what they call front end service mode at the moment. That's where you completely take the front clip off. If I was to give that a little bit of a tug, the whole lot will come off because it's all disconnected apart from the aircon. And I don't want to pay to have the aircon degassed and regassed, which is about 100 quid. So I've decided just to do it all the work with the front clip loose loaded, which means that the aircon pipes down here they are, you don't have to do anything with them. So that's where we are at the moment. What am I doing? I had an oil leak. Drop it down onto the bottom of the bell housing, and that, we're looking online, looking on the forums, is a known leak, and it's from the oil cooler. I'll get something to point with. Here's a tool trolley. From the oil cooler, it fits to the block, and there's the oil cooler there, supplies oil up to the turbo. That's the turbo feed, there's the return. So I've resealed it, both the front and to the block, and put a braided hose in to replace the oil feed. Looking online as well, another leak these cars have is a vacuum pump. There's only one O-ring there, it's cam driven. One O-ring that keeps it oil inside it, but it's a known leak, so I've stripped that off. And the other reason why I spent the 60 quid for a vacuum pump as well is because it's cam driven. If it seizes, you lose your engine, so that's not good. Car previously had a high pressure fuel pump, so that looks nice and new. And if I move that, I've got an AM induction kit with the bonnet scoop as well, but I'm having a new scoop and I'm having that painted at the moment, so I haven't done anything with that. So back to the oil leak. So I did the oil filter housing, I did the vacuum pump. When I did the vacuum pump, I noticed actually where the oil leak was coming from, and it was coming from the oil pressure switch here. I think, obviously I don't know, but the oil pressure switch I could just spin out with my fingers. So I think I've done all that work, and that was the problem. But it doesn't matter, because known oil leak point, major issue if these seize and you lose your engine, basically, because the cam stops while the engine's running, you lose your valves, and that's an engine rebuild. A very common oil leak down here. That's it. You see that now, which is the housing. Right, what else have I done? Well, while I've got it in bits, I put a Miltech racing cat. I know a lot of people do decats on these, but they're illegal. Didn't fancy a £1,000 fine, didn't fancy having to do all this again every time I have an MOT, so I put a racing cat on to get a little bit more power. So we'll see how that goes. Previous history with the car, timing chains are a problem, but this timing chain was done 12 months ago by a mini dealer. He did have a problem with the head, he dropped a valve, and I've got the receipts, £2,500 of the head reserviced, so I want to do as much as I can to make sure that nothing happens to this. The bottom end seems fine, no knocking. There's a bit of a tick from vacuum pump, but these are very ticky engines in a way, so I'm just trying to do good and get this into a position where we can track it, because that's what we want. We want a fast road car. I want a car that my son and my daughter can drive when they want to go out in something different than their other cars. So this is what we've decided to have. A lovely car, I like the colour as well. So what am I doing at the moment? So I've done that. So what's next on the list? Ta-da! This is the old intercooler. This is very, very small. This is the new AirTech intercooler. Also the red hoses are Samco hoses, which is a air hose installation. Just helps it flow better and looks better. And the blue hoses are water hoses. So that's what I'm doing right at the moment. I am putting in the intercooler into the space where it goes here. But because of the oil leak, everything was covered in oil, and it took me a day just to clean all the crap off the engine, because you have to do quite a bit of work to get everything out. I've also popped a new oil filter in, new O-ring. I've got no oil in at the moment, so I'm going to run a oil flush as well when I'm finished. But what am I doing now? So that's what I'm doing now, intercooler. And then after the intercooler, unfortunately, when I pop the wheels off, I've got to do the subframe. I'll come around here. You can see here the subframe is really rusty, and I don't fancy running around on a subframe like that with I want to make sure that the subframe's good before I go and take it on the track. Also, when I pop this lot off as well, it's just a joke. The brake rotor discs, dust discs, are absolutely knackered, which then has brought me into question how good are the calipers. So I'm going to go for a big brake kit as well while I'm there. And this suspension is so crashy. I mean, every bump that you hit, it's like it's got no teeth left. So that's got to be done. The lowish bone bushes. I want to do those as well, put some power flex in there. And I'm going to put a bigger anti-roll bar on, which I've got already, it's in the garage. And then I'm going to do the water pump drive pulley here, and I'm going to check out the harmonic balancer on the crank. I'm not going to do the water pump and the crossover pipe. Water pump is all the way down there. I'm not going to do that because that was done when the head was done. The crossover pipe was done as well, because the water goes from the water pump there underneath the inlet manifold, pops out to the thermostat here. So I'm going to do all these hoses, change all these hoses, and have a good clean out. So brakes I talked about. I haven't decided what brake kit I'm going to go with yet. So I'm going to do brakes. I'm not going to do the thermostat because the thermostat's been done. Not going to do the crossover pipe or the water pump. The anti-roll bar, drop the subframe. Again, do the brakes as well. And that's about it. That's about it. And then I'm going to enjoy it. I might put a methanol injection kit on. Because one of the things they suffer from is carryover of oil, direct injection into the engine. And if you have a look in there, that's the feed. I don't know whether you can see that properly. And when I took the intercooler off, there was oil in it. So I'm going to stop the oil from getting into there and bunging up the inlet valves. So I've bought an oil reduction system. I think, what was it called? Catch can. That's it. Losing me train of thought. Catch can goes there. 2 PCV valves, one there and one there, built into the rocker panel. So it's a 3-port one. So you put a T into that, you run your hose to it, and then you run a hose from that one into there, and then that outlet goes into the inlet manifold for the turbo, and it's supposed to dry all of the air up that's going into the turbo, which is on this side. Can't see it, I've cleaned it out, but there was oil in the turbo as well. And I'm probably going to have to put a new aircon condenser unit, because I've noticed that there's a bolt at the bottom here that's been sheared off at some point. So that's it. That's what I'm doing. It'll keep me busy for a few weeks. I want to get done before the winter, before it gets cold. Can't work outside, the garage is full of stuff. So I'm around the side of the house. Got myself some nice matting for comfort. Every time that I'm out here, it's nice in the summer, but in the winter I imagine it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So I need to get it done. So that's it. That's where I am at the moment. I'll post a few photos onto YouTube, and I think I'll do another video probably of this intercooler going in. New intercooler is the AirTech. You see a lot bigger. Drive down those intake temperatures. Yep, that's me. First video is probably going to be shit, I know, because the first time I've done it. Alright, okay, I'll catch you later.